Hi, thanks for peeking in on me. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good day. I'm still here. I'm still okay. Here we go. Please subscribe, leave a like, leave a comment. It would make me happy in my heart, and we all want to make me happy in my heart. I'll make you happy in your heart, maybe give a little giggle. Okay, I was going to talk about Switzerland likely canceling their contracts with the lunatic next door for the F-35s and the other military accoutrements that they had ordered back in 2021 and 2022, which they've been paying for and they have yet to receive. So that's on the table for cancellation. I was going to talk about Luny the Tick next door walking out of the Supreme Court, pouting and having a little tantrum because he didn't get his way so that he could stop having constitutional birthright stuff happening. If you're born in the USA, you're an American citizen. That's what he wants to change that, but he can't. They told him no. So he went stomping out. Okay, I was going to talk about Brian Nome, Krusty Nome's husband. So Christy and Krusty were up in the fancy airplane doing the mile high clubbing in the fancy bedroom. Brian, husband, was boobifying himself, super boobifying with balloons and talking to phone sax people for $25 a minute. Good gig. I was going to talk about that. Everybody knows it? Okay. I was going to talk about Luny the Tick and the war, not a war, calling it a little journey into Iran. Yep, he wanted to rewrite the peace agreement, the nuclear peace agreement that Obama and Kerry wrote years ago, and he wants that agreement back, but he just wants Luny the Tick's name on it. Okay, was going to talk about that. Not going to talk about that. I was going to talk about the elderly Pebble, Kid Rock, who had Blackhawk helicopters come and fly over his house so he could do a TikTok during a war, not a war, because Blackhawk helicopters will just fly over. They fly in front of commercial jets last week, but this week they're flying in front of elderly Pebble's house for TikToks. The pilots were suspended for that. And then Pete Kegsbreath reversed the suspension because heck, what the heck? They're drinking buddies. So I was going to talk about that. Okay. I was going to talk about and celebrate Jeremy Hansen going to the moon. They launched yesterday and it's happening, and it should be way better pictures than we had in 1969. I'm pretty excited about that. I was going to talk about that. I hope there's 10 days, so I hope to really talk about that. I was going to talk about FIFA and that they canceled hundreds of hotel rooms in Canada, US, and Mexico. And hopefully they're going to cancel it altogether because I don't think it's safe. I don't think it's safe for their players. I don't think it's safe for the staff. I don't think it's safe. Plus, FIFA executive gave Luny the Tick that stupid statue for peace. Oh my God. And then he goes and kablooies up the Middle East, kapow, like Batman. Ammo. Was going to talk about that. I hope that the entire World Cup is canceled and they do it in Mexico. They could do it here in Canada, but I think they should do it in Mexico. It's more fun. We'd all go down there. Beaches. I was going to talk about those things, but no. We're going to talk about Charles, Charlie, Chucky. He went to Buckingham Palace in July of 2018, met with the Queen. Queen didn't like him. Queen didn't like his wife. He acted like a buffoon. He did not follow royal protocol. He walked in front of the Queen. He touched the Queen. He just made a general ass out of himself, and no one liked him. So let's skip up to date. He went to, last fall, he went to visit with King Charles after the Queen had passed, of course. And he sat at Windsor Castle and had a big fancy dinner there and gave a speech and acted like a buffoon again. And all the royal people and all the hobnobs just laughed at him because he's a real lunatic. And his wife, real lunatic. Plus, he had all that Epstein stuff going on under the table, behind the scenes, but we all know it. We all know it. So, since then, Randy Andy has been arrested for his stuff with Epstein, his trading secrets and stuff so people could make money, and, of course, the sex trafficking. And we all know that Luny the Tick is involved with that, and we all know that Randy Andy was involved with that, and many other wealthy hobnobs were involved with all of that. So Randy's been arrested, and his titles have been gone, his badges, medals are gone, and so on. But yet, Charlie Chuck, he is going to come to the USA later this month. Why? Why? To be embarrassed, to be humiliated, to risk his life, because it's possible. I mean, ICE is out there, and they're not too selective as to what happens or who it happens to. Is he going there to undermine Canada? Is he going there to undermine the Commonwealth nations? Is he going there to be on the wrong side of history, like his uncle, grandfather, King Edward, went to visit Hitler? After he abdicated the throne because he married the twice divorced, pearl clutching woman, Wallace Sampson? I don't know. Anyway, he married her, got kicked out, and he went to Germany to visit with Hitler and gave him a lovely thank you note and gave the Nazi salute, and he even commented how wonderful the Nazis were and their regime was so good. Praised them. So with all of this Epstein and his brother and Epstein's involvement with royal charities, don't forget that Fergie thing. He's coming to the USA after threats to Greenland, after threats to Canada, after threats to NATO, after threats to Denmark. Charlie Chuck's coming to visit lunatic next door. I don't get it. I think the Commonwealth should all stand up and just stop this. Just stop this right now. Come on, British subjects, and just get up there and tell them no. Handlers, tell them no. We don't want it. Stop it before it happens. This shit has to stop. Okay. That's what I have to talk about. So, please comment, like, share, subscribe. And I hope to get to some of these topics a little later, because what I was going to talk about, I got all these notes. And now, Charlie Chuck. Anyway, have a good day. I gotta run. Talk to you later. See ya.